I've been working on. And you can see here there are 3 of these AtGames consoles here. Genesis, 2600, and this is the one that's the star of the show. So this is the 2017 version of the Sega Genesis, and it's alright of a system. Sound is off. Sound is pretty terrible. It's too low key, I guess would be my answer. But the emulation is not too bad, and it's fun to play with. And I like the form factor. It's a very nice form factor. The buttons are nice, responsive. The D-pad's nice. So I give them credit for the form factor. If they can improve the internals a little bit, it wouldn't be bad. With the 2600 version of it, the Atari Flashback, this one does not have a removable battery. And I actually like this better than the Genesis. The sound seems to be on. And I like the menu system a little better. It's a little more customized for the actual unit. And pretty good selection of games for 2600, and of course the SD card. But otherwise, same exact layout. And this is a 2016 Sega Genesis. You can tell the difference because A, the color, and B, the screen size here on the 2016 is a 3.2 inch, 2017 is a 2.8 inch. And that's kind of a moot point because there's a 2.8 inch in here. Because what I did is I actually bought this one off of eBay. This one was broken. What it had a screen that had some dead pixels, and I mean they were obviously dead. It was not fixable. So I got it for pretty cheap because they didn't go for like regular price, like $50. I think I got this one for about 30, and I bought both of them almost at the same time. 30 on sale. But this one here, I went and did some custom work to it. And what it is now, I'll boot it up. Hopefully you can see here okay. Look at the glare. It takes a little while to boot up, but it is a Raspberry Pi portable running RetroPie. And it's a 2.8 inch screen. So that's why I got that silver around there. That's the actual metal of the screen. You can see here running the mini SNES theme from Rockledge. And this screen is a really nice screen. This is the iUniker, strictly for Pi Zeros. And it's 640 by 480. And that's pretty high res for a 2.8 inch screen. And really nice viewing angles. That's one of the problems with these. They have kind of crappy viewing angles. I think these screens that are in here are originally intended for vertical orientation and not horizontal, because they have viewing this way. It's nice, but this way, when you start to shift right or left, you can see, and it moves pretty quick, the viewing angle. While this here is really nice resolution, really nice screen. It's a little ghosty scrolling through the menu, but when you're playing, you don't really notice it at all. I don't notice much lag. Runs at a full like 60 frames per second. So really nice. And what we'll do here is we'll go into something here on. Scroll down quicker. We'll go for a classic. Mega Man 2. My personal favorite. And so we're using the stock speaker. It's a little small, but there's only so much room inside this unit. Hopefully you can hear it okay. Let's see if I have it load. Oh, I do have one loaded. Finish the Metal Man sequence. See, it plays quite nice. There's a resolution here. I mean, that 640 by 480 really makes it look nice. There's no loss in any kind of quality or anything. Excuse my terrible playing here. Very playable. And we have start and select up here, these two buttons. We have A, B, X, Y, and then right and left for shoulder buttons. Of course, the D-pad, on and off switch, headphone out, charging port, and this is volume, but it actually doesn't do anything at the moment. I might mess with some more. I had a little problem trying to get the original volume working with it. But there's volume control inside the software, so don't really need it. And I play all 8-bit systems alright. Play most 16-bit systems okay. Things higher than that, you're pushing a little bit. Super Nintendo. Games that don't have a lot of Mode 7 seem to play fine. Games with Mode 7 sometimes you get a little slowdown and stuff. But see, like Turtles in Time, another favorite of most people. Turtles in Time will play fine. No slowdown, nothing like that. Yep, see? Works pretty nice. Get out of that. So let me take the back off here and improperly shut it down. Whoops. Gonna give you a quick overview of the back. What's inside. And it's a pretty tight squeeze. I've never really cherished taking the back off of things once they're finished because I always think to myself, just in time for something to go wrong. But there's the internals. So 2200 milliamp hour lithium. And look behind here, I'm going to put this down here. And I'll use this to point with. We have a Pi Zero. It's a non-wireless version. I figured it would be nice to have the wireless, but it draws extra power running the wireless, so there's no reason to really have it in there. And so it's a non-wireless Pi. And so we have the Pi. We have the original circuit boards underneath here and underneath here, and hack the entire middle out. And we're using, of course, the contacts for the buttons and D-pad. We have, instead of, and the Pi Zero has no audio output. And there's really no HDMI breakout that's small enough to fit in here. And so you have the Pi Zero, you have the screen on here, and there's literally no space. The Zero is mounted directly into the screen. And then we have, using a USB hub. This is a tiny little 2-port USB hub. You see the connector. I was originally going to plug it in right here. Well, actually right here. But it's just not quite enough room to really fit in there right. So I left the connector on there, but it's just soldered across from the test points on the bottom of the Pi. One side of the hub goes over here to a Teensy, and the Teensy is what does all the controlling. It acts as a controller. It's like a USB controller, and it's all wired up to all the pads on the original boards. And the other side of the USB hub goes to a USB sound card. which that's this little board right here. So that's our sound output. It runs to the headphone port directly, and the headphone is a auto switching one. So when you plug in headphones, they'll turn off the speaker. When you take the headphones out, turn the speaker back on. Of course, the speaker is only one right there, original speaker. It's a mono, so they're mixed together in this mode, and that runs from the USB sound card to a small amplifier. And this amplifier will amplify for the speaker, because unamplified you can barely hear it. Underneath the amplifier, there is a LiPo charging board, and right here you can see the inductor is a boost from 3.7 up to 5 volts. So that's pretty much the whole internal. We got the power switch, and the whole thing, when running, I've tested it, draws about, at max, 500 milliamps, so half an amp, which isn't bad. I figured 2200 milliamp hour battery and some loss for the boost and everything like that. I figured, yeah, you get 3.5 hours of runtime out of it, so not too bad. I haven't tested it completely all the way through. Charge is relatively quick, and I tried as much as possible to stay away from doing a lot of hot glue and all kinds of messy glue and everything. So the only hot glue I have here are just some splotches here to hold the screen centered. Everything else is mounted with double face VHB tape, which stands for very high bond. And there's a little bit of goop glue just to reinforce a few things. This has got goop glue on it, so it's a little more reinforced, because again, you're going in and out with headphones. And I think that's actually the only place I have goop glue. These little foam pieces are just in there just for a little extra support and hold some of the wires down in the kind of channels that come through there. But there you go. So that's the internals of this. Like I said, I can't see this getting much smaller. I wish I could find a little bit larger battery. And if I can find one that would be a little bit longer, it would probably fit and maybe get up to 3,000 milliamp hours. So I'm going to dig around a little bit. This actually came out of a one of those cell phone charger packs. One of these kind of things. Not that one. This has got regular round cells in it. But a pack like that. And you can see the back. I had to cut off the battery compartment that was here. I might cut this a little bit flatter. It's a little tight. But really, for everything that's in here, it's not bad. The wires can get a little messy. I know they're not perfect. And I put a little bit of carbon fiber vinyl across the top there to cover up all the extra ports that I'm not using. It would have been nice to use the SD card, but it's way too much room taken up. There's been no way to fit anything in there. And really, once everything's loaded on there, there's no reason for you to ever take the card out. The Pi is overclocked. It's running at 1050 megahertz, so not much. But the GPU and the SD RAM are both overclocked. I think to 450, maybe 500. I don't remember. And a little screw. So I suppose it takes a little bit more power to run it overclocked, but gets a little better performance out of it. And like I said, all 8 bits work fine. 16-bit games, most of them work fine. You're not going to run anything like a Dreamcast on or anything like that, of course. And you're not going to fit a regular Pi 3 in here. That would be really crammed. So, and I actually have built a Pi 3 portable. It's much larger than a 5-inch HDMI screen. It's a handheld. It's kind of big, it's kind of bulky, it's kind of heavy. And I actually prefer this kind of form factor much more. It's just throw it in your pocket and pop it out, play a few games, and pop it back in. You don't have to, that big bulky one, you almost have to have like a case for it. It's so big. So there's the my handiwork. So way better than the AtGames ones, because it plays all the stuff these play and has way better sound. Like I said, the one thing I can say is they got a really nice case. These buttons and everything is nice. I wish they would fix their emulators a little bit better. Maybe they will. Because the actual case is a D-pad. I really like the D-pad on these, which is surprising. It's got a nice. I like to mash in the middle and rock. Some people like to bounce around, but not me. I play a lot of shmups and shoot 'em ups and things like that. So nice D-pad for that kind of playing. But there you go.